you were a movie critic for 12 years.
Yeah,
Is
no,
it- I
longer
mean,
than that. Still am.
Sneak previews is what I
Right.
meant. Okay, I'm sorry.
Right.
Okay,
No,
you
no.
started.
I started with CNN reviewing movies in 1980, before you were born.
Okay,
And
thank you.
yeah, and no, I did. I was the first movie critic on CNN when the network
The very
went up.
first?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's before you did sneak previews? Or
Yes.
had you already?
No, that was
Really?
yes, that was before I did sneak previews,
Oh.
before I hosted a show on movies on British TV.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And before PBS, it was my start reviewing movies on anywhere was on CNN. And by the way, the studio we used to do that show in was much less lavish than this studio. I mean, we were talking about the early days
This
of CNN.
is lavish.
It is absolutely, but the early the early days of CNN, it was pretty low rent operation.
Well, I used to watch sneak previews, and I thought for sure you were a Christian, but I found out you're an observing Jew. And I've heard you say on many occasions that a Christian America is great for the Jews.
It is. The Jewish people have suffered all kinds of hardships, and not just the Holocaust. The Holocaust is really the least of it. Over 2,000 years of exile, and then previous exile, and then going back and rebuilding the temple in 519 BC, and then the whole rededication of the temple and the struggle of the Maccabees in 163 BC. Jewish history has been a series of persecutions and hardships. American Jewish history is different. We've been here, the Jewish community was established in New York City in 1654. It's been a very, very long time. Very, very long time. And we've done well here in this country. And we've been welcomed here, and we're part of the country. That's not in spite of America's Christian heritage. It's because of it. The kinds of Christians who founded this country, and this is part of what I write about in the 10 Big Lies About America. It is a big lie about America that this country was founded by secularists who were trying to escape religious persecution.
I know, why are they saying that? When did that all start?
In the 60s, like
right.
most other stupid things. But no, the people who came here didn't come to escape religious persecution. For instance, the Pilgrims, they didn't come to America from England. They came to America from Holland. They were in Leiden. They had moved to Leiden. Holland was the most tolerant country in Europe, by far. They were not fleeing religious persecution. So why'd they come to America? Because they wanted to establish a religious utopia. And that same thing motivated the Puritans, who came 10 years later, and it motivated the Quakers, who came to Pennsylvania in the 1680s with William Penn. And really, this has been the main motivation of our founding fathers, has been not to escape religion, but to reinvigorate and to purify and to encourage religion. One of the points that I make is that most people are completely wrong about the nature of the revolutionary struggle that gained our independence. And they don't know the main marching song of the Continental Army was not Yankee Doodle, that came later. The main marching song was a hymn called Chester, which was turned into a march, which was the lyrics say in part, written by William Billings in 1770, says in part, "Let tyrants shake their iron rods, let slavery clank its galling chains. We fear them not, we trust in God. New England's God forever reigns." Doesn't sound like secularists to me. It's big lie number 3 about the 10 big lies about America, the idea that this is supposed to be a secular country. And going back to what you said before, Jewish people, above all others, should be grateful for the specific kind of Christianity that has flourished in this country. And again, how remarkable. We are the only nation on earth, I just wrote a column about this, where there are different Christian denominations, and there are countless Christian denominations here in this country. I mean, Catholics and Protestants, where Christians have never killed each other. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look back in England, in the English Civil War in the 1640s, there were literally hundreds of thousands of dead people, with people from the Church of England fighting against Puritans. And before that, Catholics burned Protestants at the stake in England. And we've never had that in the United States. Never. The country is blessed. And people should acknowledge that, particularly this time of year.
And the Jews, they don't recognize this?
President Bush has been the best friend we have ever had in the White House as a people. The best
I
friend for
admire him.
Israel, and the best friend for Jewish people in general. Okay, so why did 74% of my fellow Jewish Americans vote for John Kerry? Why did 78% of Jewish Americans vote for Barack Obama? Here's the key, is that for many Jewish people, when they want to connect with tradition, when they want to ensure some continuity, the only way they do that is politically, because they don't do it religiously, which is very interesting.
Okay.
That group in the Jewish community that's more religiously observant, people who identify as Orthodox Jews, which are 12% of those who voted this last election, they voted over 70% for McCain. They voted over 75% for President Bush. But you see, that goes to this whole stupid thing that there's something in Jewish tradition that would make people liberals. Jewish tradition is deeply conservative, because I'm trying to do stuff in my own life, and my children try to do stuff in their own lives, that those grandparents that I was talking to you about
Right.
a moment ago did in their lives.